This is part 3 of the Unreleased Operator series where we discuss operators who have not been launched in EN. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2, click on the upper right corner of this video. The operators in part 1 will be released first and the data mined release dates are also posted in the video. Part 2 operators will follow after the part 1 operators have been released. To start off this list in part 3, we have Conviction. Conviction was only available as a beta character, but she was later retracted. Last April, the devs released Conviction as an April Fool's operator. He was redeemable by all the players in CN, so you could claim him by a redeemable code. He will probably be released through a random event for EN though. His talent reduces his cost and redeployment time, but that really isn't important. It's his skill 2 which he's known for. So his skill 2 allows him to deal magic damage in a huge area, but it also has a 50% chance to stun all your operators. So he's pretty much a meme operator. And by the way, I think Conviction is both male and female. So the gender for his profile wasn't specified, so I think he's something like Krim from the interspecies review. Sideroca is a welfare operator from the Arknights memoir side story, and she's an arts guard like Astasia, but they play completely different roles. Astasia is better with a team supporting her, while Sideroca is built for solo lane to reduce the pressure from the main team. After she kills 5 enemies, her attack speed increases and she gains resist, which makes her ideal for baiting enemy crowd control. If you guys don't know, resist is a buff which halves the duration of enemy stun, freeze, bind, etc. Her skill 1 lets her immediately restore up to 70% of her max health, while her skill 2 gives her a huge attack boost as well as sustain with HP regen per second for 30 seconds. This is a really good skill, but the downside is her tile range is reduced, so she has the same tile range as a defender. So she really is just removing for pressure from the main team. Her DPS and defense are a lot lower, like a lot lower than Astasia, but she has insanely high amount of health to compensate for this. And overall, she's a solid solo duelist, but she's built to last in a spot. Keep that in mind that you can't use her like Skadi or Utage. You can't heli drop her. She's built to last in a spot for a long time. So this is further emphasized with her redeployment time. So Sideroca has an 80-second redeployment time. Normally operators will have 70 seconds. Cutter is the 4-star for the Past Illusion banner. She's a dual strike guard like Bibik and Chen, but unlike Bibik, Cutter really does seem like a mini Chen. She can only deal physical damage and her skills are underwhelming, so she can't really nuke like Chen. She also doesn't have good crowd control like Bibik. There are probably a lot of drone stages where she will excel, but overall, she isn't a very strong character. Keep in mind that she is a 4-star. For the 5-star, we have Shamare. Shamare is really cool because she's a supporter who can generate debuffing dolls. A lot of people compare her with Pramanix, but keep in mind that Pramanix and Shamare are pretty different. If I had to choose between the two though, I'd probably go for Shamare. Like Pramanix, Shamare has a weakening. So weakening takes effect when the enemies in the attack range of the operator are below 40% health. And while weakening is in effect, the damage the enemy takes is significantly increased. Shamare is known for her second skill, which is Cursed Doll. Cursed Doll allows her to generate a deployable doll every 30 skill points, and this can be charged, so she can have 2 dolls out at the same time frame. The dolls cover 9 tiles and will reduce the attack and defense of all enemies in range for up to 15 seconds. This is really good because it means her skill 2 has a 50% uptime. The dolls also don't take up deployment limits since they are more like expiring items similar to Silence's drones. Overall, she's a really great unit and the best attack debuffer in the game. The 6-star for this banner is Phantom. Phantom is a true husbando and he's one of the most badass operators in Arknights. He's a redeploy specialist like Red and Gravel, but much better. His skills are really good, so we'll just go over each skill briefly. Skill 1 increases his physical evasion and gives him a large physical shield. So the shield only works on physical damage. Skill 2 grants him 10 layers of attack buffs, and each time he attacks, the one layer is removed. So he gradually weakens, but the first layer is really strong. It can give you up to 200% attack. Skill 3 is the nuttiest hell drop in the game. When you deploy Phantom, he deals 300% physical damage to all enemies in the surrounding 9 tiles. Enemies are also pushed with small force, which is really nice because you can use this as an attack cancel or a skill cancel for something like a Sarkaz caster. He will also randomly apply a stack of slow, bind, or stun for 4.5 seconds to all enemies within that range. What makes Phantom really good is his talent, Phantom in the Mirror. This gives Phantom a clone with the same skills and a separate redeployment time, and the clone doesn't have the same stats as Phantom, but most of the time you want a redeploy specialist for the CC or stalling enemies. A really cool fact about Phantom is that Melantha seems to be really scared of him. And you know how Project Red, who is a specialist, is feared by all Lupos? Phantom is a feline like Melantha and was from Victoria, so he probably earned a reputation there. Next up is Thermal X. He's kind of a bonus operator. We get him during the first year anniversary in CM, so I'm just gonna call him X. So X is a really cool operator. She's a 1-star, and the way he works is when you deploy him, after around 3 seconds, he explodes and deals a little damage, but the thing is he debuffs all the enemies, so he applies weakening. So we already talked about weakening a while ago, and the weakening that X has can reach up to 30%. So imagine that. Keep in mind that he is a 1-star operator, and 1-star operators don't take up deployment limit, so you have a free 30% debuff for all of the enemies in the 9 surrounding tiles. So he's pretty good to have, and 1-star operators are really easy to max level as well.